Hey, it's Yolanda over here at Best Shower. So first of all, let me thank y'all for hitting that follow button and subscribe. The comments have been absolutely amazing. I actually started this channel just to kind of store some items. I had no idea what it would become. I think we all kind of happen into some things, right? And so I was just sharing my soap making journey, which started about 4 years ago. It actually started before that. It showed up to me before I showed up to it. Soap making was something that kept showing up in my life. And I was like, wait, it came one more time. It came one more time, and it seemed like the great life raft for me to get on based on where I was and what I was going through. And of course, like so many of you on YouTube University, reading all the books, buying all the books, buying everything, all of the supplies and all, and put it to the side. I don't know that I put it. No, I didn't put it to. I never really put it to the side. One more chance, one more thing happened, and that was the pandemic. 2020, and of course we saw a lot of makers kind of jump into gear to save us all, and soap making was the thing that I jumped into to save my family as well, my sanctity, my sanity, and all of that. And there were a number of friends, there were a number of followers, there were a number of however we are associated that said that, they would have tried it if they weren't afraid of making the lye water. And a lot of people didn't realize that in soap making, you had to use this. I'm not gonna get into all the details of it. I just really want to show a quick video of how I do it. We all know that anytime you ask a question as a maker about soap making, there's 50 different answers, rightfully so. There's 50 different ways of doing things. Throw them all out, pick two, and then narrow that down to one. And that one will become the way that you can remember, the thing that mobilizes you, that ignites you in order to continue to do what you do. And the way that I have found to assist me in this journey is the way that I do it. And I get asked a lot of times I get asked a lot of times how I do it, why I do it, the way that I do it, because I am inspired to do it each and every day. Okay. I found a way. There's so many different schools of thought on this thing, and I am at a point of remembering, seeing all the different ways of doing it. I want to say luckily. And it wasn't a luck thing. It might have been a luck thing. But in the pandemic, there was a conference, and I got a chance to see 14 soap makers. And like everybody else, this was the one thing I truly was not getting when I wanted to make soap. Then, lo and behold, I got a chance to witness 14 soap makers. I'm like, wait. And yes, they all did it differently, but a couple of them had something in common. And I'm like, oh, I think that's how I want to do it. Or that's how it clicked in my head, and that's how it began to make sense, And it was that aha moment, right? And I'm going to say this about making the lye water and looking at all the videos and all the YouTubes and all the different platforms, right? A lot of times we're watching people that are expert at it, okay? They are making 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of soap. Therefore, they're making enough lye for all of that. And when we are starting out, we're making a pound and 2.5 pounds at the most, right? Based on the starter soap molds. The number one starter soap mold is about 2.5 pounds. So that's a little bit different. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up lye water the way that I found to do it, that got me into this, and that keeps me motivated enough to continue to do it. Now, the way that I make my lye water is I pick a day and I do just that. I am not the soap maker like, oh, I need to go make soap. Let me go in, I'm going to make my lye water, and I'm going to take it all the way through the soap making process. That's just not me. I'm not that, I don't have that kind of patience or that kind of time. I do like I like soaping at room temperature. So that's a difference for me. There are those, like I said, there's 50 ways to do it. Some people soap, they use the heat transfer, all the different methods, okay? This is the method that I was able to grasp on. That is, make it ahead, set it aside, and make what I need over the course of my soap making day or soap making week. And again, I want you to remember when we are out here and we're learning and we're looking at people, you have to look at where they are and where we are, right? Again, most soap makers that we watch, they're making 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds of soap. They're making big slabs of soap. If you are still at the starter mold, if you are still at the 2.5 pounds or 1 pound, you're not going to be working with that much live water. So I'm going to make a very small batch, random number, okay? But I'm going to go through the process of what I do. So when I started soap making, of course, I chose a path, a technique, a school of thought, an expert, and I followed that. And then I was like, okay, wait, I need to dial it back because I have to think about the time that I have, the temperature that I want to work in, the space that I'm going to work in, the environment I'm in, the weather, the climate, all of those things come into play. But they come into play when you get ready to cut your soap, right? So the outcome of your soap, how you want. I know that I love making soap at night and sleeping and letting the soap fairy do what the soap fairy does and waking up in the morning and molding and cutting the most amazing soap bars. I can reach behind me. All these red baskets you see behind me, this is my soap making space. And each of these baskets at any given time is giving soap, okay? I know that I love a feel. This is the feel of the soaps that I make. I know that I want to wake up the next morning. I want to unmold them. I want to cut them without having to add a lot of things to rush the process or speed up the process. Again, this is one way of doing it. And in any given comments, it's going to be 50 other ways. Okay. Choose two. Okay. And narrow down on it. And of course, who doesn't smell their most amazing soap? So again, how did I know this? How did I get to this point? I want to say trial and error. We don't do the error things, but you got to try. You got to try a lot of those different ways based on, again, the temperature you want to work at, the time that you have for making your soap. Again, I want to come in. I want to knock out some soap in the evening time. I want to have to go through the process overnight. I want to wake up. I want to be able to unmold it, and I want to be able to cut it so that I can put it in my basket, and I know how long I want to age the soap, right? So a lot of that at the end, that outcome at the end, starts right here with our live water. How much liquid you're going to add into your soap dictates what you want in the end. Okay, so again, 50. I'm just saying 50 ways, like 50 shades. I'm just saying there's 50 ways of doing everything. I started out, I know for safety reasons and for my mind and what I need to be able to retain and remember, I decided I'm going to soap at room temperature. Okay. I'm going to make my lot a day or days ahead and have enough. So when that creative spirit hits or the production schedule hits, I can just come in, grab my tray of already made lye and go ahead and start making my soap. Okay, that's that. But here's what I want to explain. For those who keep telling me, oh my God, I really want to make soap, but I'm afraid of the lye. Listen, okay? When you first start going back to it, when you first start making soap, you're only going to use a little bit. You're only going to use a tiny bit of soap, a tiny bit of lye, and a tiny bit of water. Okay? So when you see somebody and they're pouring their lye water out of here, you're not there yet. Don't even rush to get there. This is year 4 for me. I'm still not filling this thing up. I still make 2 of these down to here. Even though I can work with that much, I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that. I stay at my safety and my comfort level for my safety. Okay. So I'm gonna skip ahead because I really just want to mix this lye on this video and show you that part. And we can, in the questions and the comments, we can go back from wherever, all the places I post this video, if you need some more before or some more after. Again, I am not yet that person, but I just want to show what it is to really truly work with this for the number of people I know have a true passion for this, and this for them is their hurdle. If making the lye water, which we call it lye water, Is your hurdle? I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you a way to kind of get over that, right? Quiet on the set. Make sure it's quiet wherever you need to do it. All right. First thing you want to do, okay, everybody will tell you, is safety. I'm going to actually leave my hair in there so to stop flouncing around. Yes, it does. So did you shower today? That is my tagline at Best Shower Soap. All right. They call it lye water because basically you're just going to take some water and dissolve the lye. I don't need to tell you, if you're at this point, I don't need to tell you what the lye's for and all that good points. So we're going to kind of pick up, and for those of y'all that know what this is for, all right? You're going to make lye water because you're going to make soap, all right? Now, when you're making it, I guess I'm going to take my hair out a little bit because I'm choking. Okay. You're at this point, you need to make this, you're probably going to make soap. All right, that's what's going on here. And I'm actually taping this in front of a live audience. All right. So I'm going to put on some gloves because we say safety first. I put on my apron. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some gloves. I'm going to grab one more thing that we need. We know we all need a scale. I'm going to tell you. One of the best, I'm going to give you a couple of my best practices. When I first started making soap, and I love math, I decided I'm going to measure everything in grams. Why? Because when you measure everything in grams, the math is a little easier. Because let me tell you, in soap making, the math, we math it, and it is absolutely precise. But if you do it in grams, wherever you start, you can scale, you can grow. You can double your recipe, quadruple your recipe, cut your recipe in half. If you measure everything in grams, it's really that easy. If you're going to measure everything in grams, you have to measure everything in grams, so you will need a scale. Okay? You do not open your lye without a mask. And this, of course, is N95s. Everybody's familiar with them now because of the pandemic. But yes, we wear a mask. We're going to also put on some gloves. You know this because you're already at this point, okay? You know you're going to need your plastic that will be able to sustain your lye sitting in it. Again, you want to look for those markings on the bottom of that. And you can even shout out to the brand. When you grow, you kind of go a little bit bigger. You're going to get your pictures and so forth and so on. But basically, I started with one of these. They come with a lid. You want to make your lye something that you can always put a lid on. You never want to leave the open containers. Okay, even if you live alone. Okay, don't have kids or pets or anything like that running around. Okay, and when you get ready to do this, there should be no distraction, no stopping, no whatever. And I probably should have charged my phone before I do that. And so again, you got your lye. There's two ingredients to this. There's the lye, and then there's the water. And of course, we know we're going to use distilled water. You've already watched 1,000 videos. This is for people who've watched 1,000 videos, and you're like, I still don't get it. I know, believe me, I watched them for years, and I was like, what's missing? Somebody stop, slow down, tell me, okay? I'm going to put on my gloves, and again, I'm going to make sure, all areas, all exposed skin is covered, trying to be safe there. And you need to be 100% precautious. You need to get not a drop on this skin. Look, I got two gloves for the same hand. Not a drop on the skin. Not a drop on the skin. You need to go watch the other 50,000 videos about all the precautions that you need to take. You are not to get a drop of this on your skin. Okay? If you spill, it wastes, it's knocked over, you need to run. All right, you need to run, okay? So as you can see, I'm wearing my long sleeves. I have on glasses. You can place, if you don't wear glasses, you can put over some goggles. You can even goggle up on this. You better know you, okay? I'm just gonna mix up some of this for you guys, okay? This is for those that have been like me. You've been watching soap making. You're like, no, I don't think I can touch that. I don't think I can do the lye water. Let me tell you. I was watching a video one day and I was like, wait, that's it. And let me tell you, I've had the best 4 years of my life, getting ready to go into year 5. And this video has been sitting in my mind to do forever. All right, so it is this simple. Now, before this point, you would have purchased some oils, some butters. You've gone to the lye calculators. Okay, this ain't that video. You've gone to the lye calculators and it's told you how much lye you're going to use. I know you're sitting there staring at your recipe. You've had it for years. Okay? And it says you need X amount of lye to turn your recipe into soap. It tells you how much lye and it tells you how much water. What I have found that works for me is a 1-to-1 ratio. You'll probably hear that. You're going to hear ratios, discounts, and all of that. Because I want to make soap at night and wake up in the morning and the soap forever say, here you go, beautiful bar soap that I can unmold and I can cut. I have done what they call a water discount. I've reduced that liquid and reduced the liquid, and I can't tell you what the actual percent is right now. But I know what I have done to keep it simple is when I go to the lye calculator, if based on the oils and the butter that I'm going to use, it gives me a complete amount of liquid to add to dissolve my lye in. And I go, well, based on where I live, based on the time that I want to make soap, based on the temperature that I want to work at in making my soap, based on how and when I want to unmold and cut my soap, I'm going to reduce that liquid. And I'm going to reduce it, and I can't reduce. I take a deep discount. But I also know that I like to make my lye, again, 50 ways to do it. Here's the one way I do it. I want to make this ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is a 1-to-1 ratio. Whatever amount of lye it tells me I need for my recipe, I'm going to use that exact same amount in water because I want to make my lye ahead of time when I have a safe, quiet house. Right? Now, I am going to reserve that amount that I'm subtracting from that because it may say use 100, throwing out a number, 100 grams of lye, 250 grams of liquid. Well, I'm going to use 100 grams of lye and 100 grams of liquid. I know that when I get ready to make the soap, not today because I'm just doing the lye, I have 150 grams for which I can still add in liquid. I'm a person, I like to add milks to my soap. I like to add juices, purées, and all of that, right? Based on different recipes that I have. So I'm going to leave that 150 for the day that I actually make the soap. This is not to confuse anybody because we're just simply talking about a 1-to-1. And when you're making your lye water, if you're going to do milk soaps, right? Because I like a milk soap, but I don't have time to make ice, okay? Or any other variants there are when I get ready to make soap. I know I might decide I want to do some puree, I want to do some buttermilk, I want to do some aloe vera, I want to do add anything to the soap that counts as a liquid. I'm going to reserve that from that extra amount for that. And I'm going to take the discount on that end. But the simple way, because all I need to do is dissolve the lye. All we have to do is, but you can't take a discount, can't add less, can't add more. You don't want to do any of that. Based on the calculator you choose, the amount of lye that it says, the simple way to get over the hurdle right now for you to go ahead and make some soap is a 1-to-1 ratio. Remember, we never know the full outcome of a recipe until the outcome of a recipe. And that is when you get ready to unroll and to cut the soap and to watch it over the aging period and to actually use the soap. Is the soap too soft? Is it this, that, and the other? Okay. Right now, the lye water, all the lye water needs to do is to dissolve the lye. I find that the exact same amount dissolves it pretty well, right? If you're going to add other liquid. Now, I'm going to come back in a day or two to actually make the soap. If I'm not going to add any milk, if I'm not going to add any juice, then I'll just simply add back at that time the water, that amount in the water, okay? Let's just say for the sake of understanding in this one, our recipe says we need 100 grams of lye, okay? So right now in my batching, because I'm going to not only make one of these, I'm going to make about 8 of these because that's how much soap I'm going to make over the course of my soap week, okay, or soap day, right? So I have it, but the recipe, the lye calculator said about 250. So I got 150 left. So when I go to make soap, if I'm not going to add milk, if I'm not going to add aloe vera, which is my 2 recipes, I'm going to put back that 150 grams of water into when I get ready to make the soap. Okay? This is just to get my lye dissolved and batching it up. One of the beginner ways I find that is great to make soap, to make lye water, because this is for those that keep saying, I'm afraid, I don't understand it. Here's the hurdle. The hurdle is the math. The hurdle is safety. A lot of people say they don't want to do it because they're afraid of it. They're afraid to work with it. This is one of the easiest ways to get over the hurdle of working with it. Okay, don't want to open that without my mask. I'm going to put my mask on. And when I do post this video, I will post the long version, the short version, the conversation we just had. And I'll also just post, just mixing it up. So let me get this mask on. All right, so safety. I'm trying to get it on. Put the gloves on first, y'all. Why do I do that? All right, let's see here. Hopefully this brain is pretty tight. It pops sometimes. Okay, let's find my ears around the hair then. All right, I think that's on. It's pulling my ears, y'all. Okay. All right, I'm going to just, since I was getting my mask on without the gloves, just for the pet peeve, folks. Is that your pet peeve? Thank y'all so much for watching. This is some content that I will do on a consistent basis. If you would like to come in and talk about soap making, this is a subscriber-only chat. If you would like to support more content like this, then simply become a subscriber. There are other videos that I'm going to do that's going to be not only subscriber only, but subscriber viewers as well. And if you are a maker and a soap maker, please join the Makers League. Okay, so we know that we have some olive oil, we've got some castor oil, we got some shea butter, we have got cocoa butter. And we've gone to the lye calculator, and it says based on the amount that we're going to use, we're going to make a pound of soap, or a pound and a half, whatever your recipe is. It's going to spit you out a recipe along with those items that you have, and it's going to tell you, hey, here's how much lye you're going to need to turn that into soap, and here's how much water you're going to need to literally dissolve the lye. All right, and you need it. He's like, oh, that's a hurdle for me. That's a hurdle for me. Here's what I would do. So it says, our recipe said we need 100 grams, just doing one for the sake of the video, 100 grams of lye. I have found that I like to work at room temperature. I don't want to make soap today. I want to make soap tomorrow, or I want to make soap next week, or this, that, and the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1-to-1. It said I need 100 grams of lye. I'm going to do 100 grams. I'm going to dissolve that in 100 grams of water. Okay? Because I want to use other liquid in my soap making. And even if I come in and I make a recipe and I don't, then when I get ready to make the soap, I will put back the additional amount of liquid, right? But the reason why it's confusing everyone is because every soap maker does that part a little bit different based on, again, the time that they want to make their soap. If they're doing a lot of swirls, designs, the temperature they want to make their soap, the climate and the environment they're making their soap in, and then, of course, the desired outcome that they have. Some soap makers, they want to age their soap. They're going to let the soap sit for 6 months. Some people 6 days. Some people 6 weeks. Not 6 days, but 6 weeks. All those different things. Again, on the outcome. I know that I like to unmold and cut the next morning. I know that I like to explore various other liquids, other additives, ingredients, and those kinds of things. So I have found that a 1-to-1 ratio works for me. You can go tell everybody you know, and again, they're going to say, yeah, I've heard of that, but I do this, I do that. Pick one, okay? So 100 grams of lye, I'm going to just measure that out in this bowl, in this cup. And this is literally it, okay? And I went a little far ahead. Don't try to pour it, because take your spoon and just kind of put back. See how it's going to go everywhere. Can't get it anywhere in the skin. Don't touch it, okay? So let's say that is my 100 grams of lye. I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm going to do 100 grams of water. I'm doing a 1-to-1 ratio. 1-to-1 ratio will get you over your lye water making hurdle. All right, 100. And then to your water, never to your lye, you will now want to add the lye to the water. And you never want to be directly over it and all of that. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and give that a stir with your stainless steel spoon. And yes, that's going to heat up. That's going to get hot. Now, another thing that I like to do is I would, if you don't want to deal with the heat of this, because I'm not making this, I'm not making any soap today. If I was making soap today, I would do this in an ice bath, a water ice bath. If the container that you hit is going to get, you feel like it's going to get a little thin, and it will. Again, cool water, cool ice bath. I like working with an ice bath. But again, my technique, my hurdle was to go ahead and make up plenty of these before I start. I would pick a day and I just batch up lye. It's called master batching, okay? It's called master batching. And then, of course, you take your top. You don't want to take your top right away, but it depends on what you've got going on in your environment. You just cap that off, all right? And just make up several of these. Now, again, see how little bit, that's all you need. Okay, you're a beginner. If you're just now making lye water, you don't need to be making 50 pounds of soap. This is probably enough. This is enough. I don't even know if this is, let me see, what's my original recipe? Okay, that's probably enough, about 1.5 to 2 pounds of soap. I can't remember which one I chose. But that's how much lye water you're going to be making when you first start making soap. Okay, I know you're watching videos and they're making this much. Yeah, stop watching that, okay? That's not you. You're literally using about 100. I think my first, let me look at my recipe. I think it was like half of 256, 128 grams. A 2.5 pound recipe will usually require about 100, depending on the ingredients. Don't quote me, that ain't Bible. My first recipe required 128 grams of lye. Okay? I'm going to put my top back on this. I'm not going to do it 1,000 times. You can press rewind, repeat. Okay? But that is literally what it is to make your first batch of lye water. All right? I'm just going to vent that a little bit. Keep in mind, there's a lot of fumes coming off of that. There's a lot of heat coming off of that, which is why we got the mask. You've seen a video here. You hear people kind of coughing. A lot of times people come in and they're like, oh, I'm gonna put a batch of lye right quick and go. We all have done it, right? Tank top, skin all exposed, whatever. You get a little comfortable, okay? But notice I'm not coughing. I wasn't directly over the lye when I was making it. I have on this mask, which is really, really hot. I have a fan up above. My room is well ventilated. I have an exterior door here, okay? But we all know that we have to find our workspace. Just make sure that you're never directly over it because, those are fumes. Those are fumes coming off of there, okay? Make sure that you also can cap it off. If you need to make soap the same day, go ahead and get it in an ice bath, cool it down. But y'all, that is it. That is the thing that you said that you're afraid of. Yes, you should be afraid. Yes, it's fear. This is some of the best. This one I get at the hardware store, Ace Hardware. I get mine. You can, of course, get it a couple places online. This is actually a large container. Most stores have it in a smaller container. And there are several different versions out there. I like this one. It doesn't clump as much. It doesn't spread out. And it's easier when, not clumping and not going airborne. It's easy when measuring it. But I just wanted to really do this video to show you just literally that's how much. I think a lot of times our ideas get so big and they take over, right? And there's no reason to really be afraid. If you really want to try soap making, and if you do really want to try soap making, I do have a soap making kit. One of the things I look for when I wanted to try soap making, I was looking all over for a kit, right? And so when I started soap making, I said, I'm going to make a kit. And so I do have a kit. It's go to bestshowersoap.com and you'll see the kit. And in the kit, you get everything to make your first soap. We can Zoom and so forth. If you're in the area, we can do it together as well. Always, again, distilled water. Make sure it's distilled water. Make sure you have the proper containers, that they have all of the safety markings on the bottom. I think this is a P5 there, so you want to look for that, because again, this is going to sit in this, see how it's sweating, right? This is going to sit in this container for a couple of days. It's going to cool down. Again, I like to work at room temperature. That was a way for me getting over the soap hurdle. I didn't want to soap while it was hot. As a beginner, I needed all the time in the world to get through my recipe, to get through the designs. And again, some of the designs, like if you are going to do, various swirls and colors and different things like that, if you're going to add color, if you're going to add micas, different fragrances, all of them, time and temperature. When you are soap making, time and temperature is very important. How much time you have for if you're doing different layers and different things like that. And all of that starts with the temperature of your soap and your lye. The lye, if you make it the same day, it's probably going to go in a little hot. That's going to speed up. The heat speeds up soap making. Okay, that's why you see a lot of people like to work at room temperature. Sometimes I like to say the benefit of acceleration. There's a couple of soaps that I do. I want them to set up right away and be done with it. But when I'm trying to do different designs or colors or swirls or layers, I want to be at complete cool room temperature. And for me, coming in with well-behaved fragrances, well-behaved ingredients, colors, all of those things impact what will happen to your soap in the process of soap making. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video. I don't think I need to do it again and again and again. I may do. I tell you what, I'll do one more just for the sake of video. Let me see if I can just do one straight through. And I'm actually, you guys are watching and taping, which is why I said quiet on the set. This video will be downloaded and purposed for a couple of things that we're going to do in this life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more just for the sake of, and again, the hurdle for those who are going to be new to soap making. All right, if you have not yet tried cold process soap making, this is for, and I don't think I said that. If you've not yet tried cold process soap making, where we dissolve lye to make the cold process soap making, this is probably an amount. Okay, I'm gonna go with my recipe. What did I say? That was 128, 2.5 pounds. My recipe makes 2.5 pounds. In fact, let me do an entire reset. Thanks so much, Keita. Thanks so much, Black Cherokee, y'all. Thank you so much for the likes and getting this video going. Okay, I'm taping an episode that's going to appear a couple places. All right, so let me do this. Okay, we have the lye in here, so we're gonna put some water in here. All right. So we're gonna do a quick assessment. All right. Reset, relax, release. Okay. If you want to try cold process soap making, you will need to make yourself a lye water. Okay, take two. Take two. Hey, I'm Yolanda with Best Shower Soap. The question I get all the time is, how do you make the lye water? All right. I have been making soap about 4 years, and one way that I found to get over the hurdle of making my lye water up is I make it in advance. I make it in advance, and I use a 1-to-1 ratio. Daggone it. My mask is like tied. Okay. Hey, I'm Yolanda at Best Shower Soap. The question I get all the time is, no. Okay. Hey, I'm Yolanda at Best Shower Soap, and I hear you want to make soap, but you keep saying you're afraid of dealing with the lye water. The thing that helped me get over the hurdle of making lye water is I use a 1-to-1 ratio. Based on the recipe that I put into my lye calculator, it tells me how much lye I'm going to use. I stop right there. I go ahead and use that exact same amount of water. And then the amount that it told me, what's left over in the reserves, I keep that for the actual day and time that I actually make soap. Whether I'm going to add water, whether I'm going to substitute with various juices, purées, and so forth. But I make my lye up ahead of time because who has time for anything else? So my recipe calls for 128 grams of lye. That is for 2.5 pounds of soap. A lot of times when we're watching soap makers and we're trying to learn soap making, we're watching someone that's making 20 pounds, 50 pounds, slabs of soap. And so they're making lye in large containers, very much like this. But when you are starting, you literally are making about 100 grams plus or less or more of lye water. You want to make sure that all skin surfaces are covered. You want to make sure you got your gloves on, your mask, your glasses, or your goggles. And you want to make sure you got a nice safe distance for when you're going to measure your lye. You want to make sure you use distilled water, okay? And we can get distilled water pretty much everywhere. Now, my recipe again said what? 128 grams for 2.5 pounds of some oils and butters to make my soap. So I'm going to go ahead and get 128 grams of water. Just measuring that out. And why did I choose grams? I chose grams because the math be math. And choosing grams, the math is easy. I can make half that, double that, quadruple that. It's just easy math. And since you are going to use grams, you will need a scale. You have to measure. You can only measure grams by the scale. So I have a small scale here, 126. And yes, you got to play around with droplets, all right? That went a little over. We're going to do one more time. Just take out just a little bit, and I should be right at 128. All right. Now, again, I'm using some very safe containers. And this one, I'm going to measure my lye. My recipe said 128 grams. No more, no less on this one. You need to be precise, because of the outcome that we want on the soap. And 1-to-1 ratio is good for those who like to make milk soaps. You want to do aloe vera. You want to add in different purées, right? You're going to use another liquid. But you want to get over the hurdle and just dissolve the lye in water. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to just dissolve my lye in the water, okay? So I'm going to put my water. You don't have to have it on the scale. I just brought it back into view. All right, 128 grams of lye. That is how much lye you're going to use as a beginner soap maker. Safe container, safe gloves, mask, glasses. And you're just going to go ahead and lightly pour that into your water. You're going to take your stainless steel spoon, okay? And you're just going to start to give that a stir. At this point, you want to be as far away as you can within reach, because you're going to see the fumes come up, and this can heat up. But again, this is the beginner level. This is probably the smallest. Well, actually, some of you might use half of this, because maybe you're making 1 pound of soap. But this is what I think a lot of us don't realize when we start soap making, because we're watching so many different experts and they're making so much. But this is literally it, right? Now, on a 1-to-1, it's not going to become totally clear, but you just want to make sure all of your lye is dissolved, okay? And you could actually do this, put this in an ice bath. You really want to be safe. And when you put it in an ice bath, it will keep down some of the fumes. Now, I like to make my lye up ahead of time, or a day at a time, when it's quiet. There's no kids running around, no pets running around, nobody to disturb. And so I make up about 6 to 8 batches of lye water for my soap day or my soap week, okay? And then I'm going to just place the top on that. Let me get another top. And you can, again, place it in an ice bath. I usually just place it in a tray, sit them off to the side. Now I have 2 ready. And you can see this one's made ahead of time. And here's a new one. I have 2 of them ready. I can put these aside. I can then come in and get ready to make soap whenever I want. I'm going to let this cool. I love soaping at room temperature because of the outcome I want with my soap, because of the time I like to make soap be in the evening. I like to let the soap sit overnight. I like to come in and unmold and cut the soap the next morning. And so you're going to hear ratios, water discounts. There's 50 ways to do this because people are working in different environments, like different workspaces, different climates, different times, different textures, all of that. All of that plays into it. But the hurdle is to get you to start making your lye water if you want to do co-process or hot process soap. And that is literally how you do the lye water. Okay? But keep in mind, that's how much you're making. Okay? 100 plus grams for your first soap. That's all you need. Again, the amount of lye we use here came from the lye calculator we put in the recipe of soap that we wanted to make. It is no one size fits all. It is different per ingredient that's going into your recipe. All right. I hope that I helped. I will watch for comments and questions. I'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more. I'll make some more on the videos. Listen, all you got to do is start. All you got to do is start. Okay. For the first question I'll probably get is, what kind of lye did I use? There it is. I got this at my local hardware store. My distilled water, you can get that at the local groceries or drugstores, but make sure that you're using distilled water. Make sure you're using distilled water. How many of you, let me know in the comments if this helped. Let me know if this is going to help you get started. Because believe you me, I know what it is to watch this stuff happening and like double dutch trying to figure out how to get in. This was the way that kind of was a breaker for me. A hurdle. Helped me get over the hurdle into soap making, because I watched it for probably 2-3 years. And I was like, I'm missing something. And it's simply because a lot of people don't really dive into the lye water phase of it. I don't know. But there it is. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ooh, I love how that came out. Okay, hang out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I turned the comments off just simply because I was trying to figure out how to do that. I hadn't seen you guys in, oh my God, forever. I was on vacation. All right, now, can I turn it off? Does allow me to turn? Okay, the chat's now open. The chat is now open. I actually need to save this video. Let me stop this video so to save, because I'm going to use that. And I'm going to come right back. We can talk.